Good day, everyone. Our group is excited to present a report on the first Mass in the Philippines. This event marks an important moment in Philippine history, as it represents the introduction of Christianity to the country and the beginning of a new era. Today, we will be discussing the controversy surrounding the location of the first Mass and the significance of these events in the grand narrative of Philippine history. We hope that our report will provide you with a deeper understanding of this pivotal moment and its impact on Philippine culture and society.
Antonio Pigafetta was a Venetian scholar and explorer. He joined the expedition to the Spice Islands led by explorer Ferdinand Magellan under the flag of the Emperor Charles V, and after Magellan's death in the Philippine Islands, the subsequent voyage around the world. During the expedition, he served as Magellan's assistant and kept an accurate journal, which later assisted him in translating the Cebuano language. It is the first recorded document concerning the language. During the voyage, Pigafetta collected extensive data concerning the geography, climate, flora, fauna, and also the inhabitants of places visited. All the meticulous notes proved invaluable to future explorers and cartographers, mainly due to inclusion of nautical and linguistic data, and to latter-day historians because of a vivid detailed style. The chronicle is considered as first ever document regarding the Cebuano-Bisaya language. After reaching Spain in September 1522, Pigafetta left Seville, then traveled by land from France, and finally returned to Italy in 1523. Before his death in Vicenza, Italy, around the first half of 1530s, he wrote at least 2 books. Few copies were given to Charles V, Francisco Charicati, and also possibly the region of France. Relación del primo Viogio intorno al mundo, 1524 to 1525. Regole sul arte del navigare, 1524 to 1525. The first Catholic Mass in what is now the Philippines was celebrated on Easter Sunday, 1521, on the island of Limasaua in southern Leyte. The Spanish priest Father Pedro de Valderrama was a part of a Portuguese-led expedition to the so-called East Indies led by explorer Ferdinand Magellan. Father Valderrama built an improvised altar and headed over the Mass, which was attended by his shipmates and a number of local tribal leaders and residents. On Easter Sunday afternoon, Magellan directed his men to assemble a large wooden cross atop a hill overlooking the sea. The Catholic Church is celebrating the 500th anniversary of the birth of Christianity in the Philippines with a year-long jubilee. Masses will be celebrated at the site of the first Mass on the Philippine soil, and pilgrims will have the opportunity to receive a plenary indulgence. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines has dedicated the entire Jubilee year to the theme Gifted to Give. Archbishop Romulo Valles of Davao has described the theme as encouraging Catholics to recognize the faith as a gift from God and to share it with others.
As you may know, the planting of the cross is a significant event in the Philippine history as it marks the arrival of the Spanish colonizer on the Philippine soil. It was during this event that the Spanish explorer Ferdinand Magellan planted the wooden cross on the shore of the island of Cebu in 1521. Magellan gave his companions the order to erect a wooden cross atop a hill that overlooked the sea. Antonio Pigafetta, who chronicled the expedition, noted that each of them chanted a Paternoster and an Ave Maria and venerated the cross. Magellan then acquired the title of the island where he had landed in the name of King Charles V. Francisco Albo's account focused on the installation of a cross atop a peak from which Three Island to the west and southwest could be seen, where they were told there was a lot of gold. This is inappropriate for Butuan Shore, from which there are no islands visible to the south or southwest, but only to the north. The Mujeres panel proposed that the historical occasion that occurred in Limasawa Island be known as the first Easter Sunday Mass, distinguishing it from prior masses conducted by the Spaniards on board their ships and an earlier mass held in Bolinao, Pangasinan in 1324. As we all know, the arrival of the Spanish colonizer in the Philippines brought significant changes to the country's culture and history. One of the most significant events was the first mass that took place in the Philippines. However, there was a long-standing debate on where exactly the first mass was held. The dispute centered on whether it was in Limasawa or Butuan that the first mass was celebrated by the Spanish explorer Ferdinand Magellan and his crew. Began in 1872, when a monument to remind the site of the first mass on the Philippines was erected in Butuan. In 1953, the people in Butuan questioned the Philippine Historical Committee to rehabilitate the monument or place a marker on it, and monument was removed. Historians Pablo Pastel and Francisco Albo have both stated that Magellan did not go to Butuan but from Limasawa to Cebu, and James Robertson has conceded that Masuwa was actually Limasawa.
Antonio Pigafetta's account is considered the most thorough and trustworthy primary source of information on the first Christian Mass celebrated on Philippine territory. The first documented Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held on Easter Sunday, March 31, 1521. Led by Father Pedro de Valderrama of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition along the shores of what Antonio Pigafetta referred to as Mazawa. The location of the first Christian Mass is still shrouded in controversy. Originally, it was believed that the Mass was celebrated in the islands of Limasawa in Leyte. However, the discovery of the Golden Tara in Butuan made some Philippine historians question the veracity of Limasawa location. The National History Institute's declaration that the first Mass was held on March 31, 1521 was supported by Republic Act 2733. But the question of the precise date and the place of the first Mass is still up for debate. The law names Limasawa as the location, but there is evidence to support Mazao Butuan as the location. In conclusion, Antonio Pigafetta's account of the Magellan expedition to the Philippine Islands and the controversial location of the first Christian Mass are important topics in understanding the grand narrative of Philippine history. The debate about the location of the first Mass continues to this day, with evidence supporting both Limasawa and Masao Butuan. Regardless of the location, the first Mass was a significant event in the history of the Philippines and marks the introduction of Christianity to the country.